Right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Demanding change.
They thought it was going to get swept under the rug. I'm a fighter.
New reaction tonight from the family of a St. Louis teen killed on an amusement park ride in Orlando. Political pushback. Tonight, the Fraternal Order of Police is taking aim at Eric Greitens' new campaign video.
First tonight, back near 100 in St. Louis. Who's actually under a heat advisory tomorrow and how hot it'll actually feel?
Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Ann Allred has the night off. Right now, the heat and humidity is moving back into the St. Louis region, and for some, it could be dangerous. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight. He's here to tell us how hot and muggy it's going to feel tomorrow, Jim.
Yes, Mike. So highs tomorrow near 100 in St. Louis. Now, when you factor in that increasing humidity, it's going to feel like 100 to as much as 105. So what we have going on right now in orange, all of northern Missouri is a heat advisory. This does include Pike County, Missouri. Starts up at 1 p.m. and goes till 8 p.m. throughout the evening hours. And then so tomorrow temperatures look like this, specifically for St. Louis, sunshine all day long, and you'll notice that humidity tomorrow. We didn't really have that today. It was kind of comfortable but hot. Tomorrow about 9 a.m., 83, 87 by 10 a.m., and then 99 by 4 p.m. So you get the idea. It's going to be a really hot afternoon, and the heat index, there it is, all the way up to almost 100 by 2 and 103 by 4 o'clock. Coming up in Maine weather, we do get a break in this heat, but not in the week ahead, Mike.
All right, Jim, thanks. Backlash tonight from Missouri Senate candidate Eric Greitens. It's over a video he posted to social media today, and we must warn you that some may find the video disturbing.
We're going rhino hunting. The rhino feeds on corruption and is marked by the stripes of cowardice. Join the MAGA crew, get a rhino hunting permit. There's no bagging limit, no tagging limit, and it doesn't expire until we save our country.
Rhino means Republican in name only. Tonight, the Missouri Fraternal Order of Police condemned the video. Facebook's parent company removed the video for its violence and incitement, and Twitter flagged it with this warning about abusive behavior. Many President Trump supporters call his former vice president a rhino. And tonight, Mike Pence rallied Illinois Republicans in Peoria. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, was there, and he's live now in Peoria with more on the Pence speech. Mark?
Mike, for 4 years, Mike Pence played the role of soft-spoken sidekick to the more crass celebrity president, Donald Trump. But now, no longer stuck under his shadow, Mike Pence is venturing out on the campaign trail across the Midwest. He's a former governor of Indiana, of course, and had voters leaving the room after the event tonight asking the question, will Mike Pence play in Peoria? They wondered if it might be a preview or a glimpse of a White House run in 2024. That stump speech there as Pence played many of the top hits from the Trump-Pence administration. He only endorsed some candidates running for Congress who are in basically blowout primaries. Any of the closer races, while Pence rallied Republicans to get out and vote, he didn't say which ones.
The Biden-Harris administration has unleashed a tidal wave of left-wing policies that threaten to shake the very foundations of our country. And the time has come for the land of Lincoln to have a Republican governor and a Republican state house.
You heard Mike Pence talking about the governor's race. Governor Pritzker hitting back in this tweet, writing, quote, Mike Pence is a dangerous homophobic extremist. He represents a party that for decades has sought to take us backward and strip fundamental rights from millions of Americans. Today's GOP, Pritzker says, has no vision for the future. Their only goal is to divide us. It was noteworthy that Pence did not endorse in the governor's race, didn't pick any single candidate there. He did in Georgia, which was a key race in 2020 in the presidential race and in the race for Senate there. He endorsed there. He quoted Lincoln and Reagan directly, made no specific mention of Trump or their disagreements on January 6th, other than to call January 6th a dark day and a divisive election. Live in Peoria, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
In about 14 hours from now, the January 6th Select Committee will resume its public hearings. Among the witnesses set to appear, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. He has said he was pressured by President Trump to change his state's election results. A new poll from ABC News found that 6 in 10 Americans believe the former president should be prosecuted. Tomorrow's hearing begins at noon St. Louis time. 5 on Your Side will carry it live. The family of a St. Louis area teen killed is speaking out against an Orlando area theme park where Tyree Sampson fell hundreds of feet to his death. 5 on Your Side's Holden Kerwicki joins us now with more on their call to action that has caught the eye of at least one Florida lawmaker. Holden?
Well, Mike, Tyree Sampson's family continues to maintain that the 380-pound teen should never have been allowed on the ride that was only designed to hold up to 280 pounds. Now the park hopes to reopen another ride designed by the Slingshot Group, but a Florida lawmaker believes their safety record needs to be taken into account.
Because they don't care.
When Yarnell Sampson went to Icon Park, he was shocked to find that a makeshift memorial for his 14-year-old son Tyree had been removed.
Because we from St. Louis, Illinois, they thought it was going to get swept under the rug. I'm a fighter.
He spent the weekend trying to raise awareness about his son's death.
Out of 100 people, there's only 5 people only actually knew he died off this ride. You know, they thought the ride was discontinued through maintenance.
The 14-year-old Sampson died after slipping out of his seat about halfway down the 430-foot free fall, which investigators say had been modified to double the size of the restraints.
A $22 seatbelt would have saved my son's life.
Sampson's parents are suing the ride's owner, manufacturer, and landlord for negligence, but their ultimate goal is simple.
I would like to have a permanent memorial out here for my son, stating that he had passed away and his legacy will live on, and give the proper respect to the dead that need it.
This ride never should be open ever in the future.
Though it's unclear what the future holds for the Orlando Freefall, Florida State Representative Geraldine Thompson believes the newly proposed Tyree Sampson bill will prevent similar deaths in her state.
This bill that will be introduced will take into account the safety records of any company that wants to operate a ride of this nature.
If a tragedy of this magnitude occurs, no one should ever be able to be back on that ride.
Attorneys for Orlando Slingshot said they support the concepts of the bill and that safety comes first for their patrons. But for the Sampson family, that's not enough.
I think we deserve, me and my son's mother, a public apology, stating that we made mistakes, we're sorry, we could change some things, and maybe we can work with you going forward. I have got none of them things have transpired.
Attorneys for Orlando Slingshot say they will work with the Sampson family to return items to that memorial area. At this time, the free fall remains closed as an investigation into the incident continues.
Holden, thanks. Tonight, the family of the 4 victims who were killed in a North County house explosion are pressing authorities to keep investigating what caused the deadly blast. They want to know if a gas leak could have been involved in Friday night's explosion. Authorities tell us they believe the blast was caused by materials from an illegal fireworks operation in the home. 4 young people died, their ages ranging from 16 to 21 years old. Heather Seaman survived the blast, but her 18-year-old son, Demario Cooks, did not.
My son ran out and he's like, Mama, he's gone. He's gone. We gotta go. We gotta go. The house is gonna blow, Mama. We gotta go. He's like, he took his last breath in my arm. We gotta go.
37-year-old Terrell Cooks and 43-year-old Seneca Mahan both face several charges, including second-degree murder, endangering the welfare of a child, and unlawful possession of a weapon. Juneteenth celebrations continued, with today being the official federal holiday. Vice President Kamala Harris surprised some children at the National Museum of African American History. Harris, the country's first black and first woman vice president, talked to the kids about what the day means to her. Well, Juneteenth commemorates the date when the final group of slaves learned they were free. And tonight, people gathered in front of the civil courts downtown to observe another piece of black history. Our Pepper Baker joins us live with the unveiling of the Freedom Suits Memorial. Pepper?
Mike, one of the best ways to celebrate Juneteenth is to commemorate the black history right here in St. Louis. Now, this is the new Freedom Suits Memorial, where you can see the hundreds of enslaved plaintiffs who sued for their freedom in the 1800s.
10 years ago, on June the 8th, where were you?
Lynn Jackson shares her family's notorious historic ties to St. Louis as a descendant of Dred and Harriet Scott.
We were at the old courthouse unveiling the Dred and Harriet Scott statue, which still 10 years later remains the first and only statue of them in the world.
She joined Judge David Mason, Mayor Tashara Jones, and prominent local leaders at the civil courts Monday evening to unveil the Freedom Suits Memorial.
From the Freedom Suits to the Black Lives Matter movement, we have rightfully earned our place at the table of civil rights along with Selma, Birmingham, and Atlanta.
Preston Jackson created the sculpture. The names of the enslaved plaintiffs who sued for their freedom in the 1800s are engraved on its base.
I'm almost 80 years old and I wanted to be a part of this, and I am so glad I came. It was beautiful.
Judith Pruitt was one of the hundreds in the crowd for the unveiling ceremony.
I was in tears when I even saw, the interviews on television. There was no way that I was not going to get here to do this. This is something that will be in my heart forever.
Other St. Louisans shared mutual feelings of what this piece of history means to them.
This statue and the message and the brave people whose names are going to surround it, as I understand, that's a story that needs to be told.
Hopefully people within the city, people outside of the city, come and check out this monument. It's history.
Myself, I got a lot to be thankful for what they went. They kind of like paid the groundwork for us,
St. Louis Circuit Judge David Mason found the files for the Freedom Suits in his basement of his workplace back in the 90s. Now, his decades of research and hard work to honor the slaves, the witnesses, lawyers, and judges finally came to fruition. Live in downtown, Pepper Baker, 5 on your side.
Rejecting hatred, promote understanding, and inspiring change. That's what the St. Louis Holocaust Museum is all about. And just hours ago, we learned the museum will reopen to the public on November 2nd. It's undergone a $21 million renovation, and the new 36,000 square foot facility in Creve Coeur will be 4 times the size of the previous museum. The hope is to continue to give visitors the tools to shape a better, kinder world.
It's normally one of the coolest gigs in town.
The dilemma I have is I barely have enough people to staff this store.
The St. Louis favorite seeing its workforce melt away, forcing some to drive farther for a scoop of custard. It works in a cinch when you're not carrying cash. The steps to protect your payment when using popular apps.
Hot and humid weather is with us for the rest of the week, but what about some much-needed rain? I'll lay out the chances coming up.
Well, cash is king, as the saying goes, but not many of us carry it around anymore. Instead, apps like Venmo and PayPal, Zelle, they give us the convenience of cash right on our phones. But what happens when something goes wrong? Consumer Reports explains how to protect your electronic payments.
Once you've sent it, you've spent it.
That's what many electronic payment apps tell users. Sure, they're speedy and convenient, but Consumer Reports warns their lack of user protections, like those offered with most credit cards, can make these services very attractive to fraudsters and risky for consumers.
The main risk in using a P2P app is that you have no recourse in getting your money back if you send money to a scammer or to the wrong person, or if you send the wrong amount because of a typo.
Last year alone, the Federal Trade Commission says there were more than 70,000 reports of fraud and $130 million in losses with mobile payment apps. And the apps are under fire from consumer advocates demanding protection from fraud and errors for users. But until that happens, CR says one way to protect your payments using P2P apps:
link your credit card to the app and fund your payments through the credit card.
When you do that, you could benefit from the same purchase protections that your credit card offers. But it might not be free. Many P2P apps charge about 3% when you use a credit card. If you do choose to keep your P2P app linked to your bank account, CR offers this word of caution.
If you are going to be using your P2P account for things like sending money to people you don't know, you really have to be very careful, because you have no way, if something goes wrong, to get that money back, and that could be very costly.
Consumer Reports contacted Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle. All of them said keeping users informed and educated and protecting them from fraud are top priorities.
Well, with gas prices still hovering around $5 a gallon tonight, hours ago, President Biden said he hopes to have a decision by the end of the week on pausing the federal gasoline tax.
Where do you want gas tax cards, gas rebate cards?
Well, that's part of what we consider. That's part of the whole operation.
Right now, the national average is at $4.98 a gallon. St. Louis gas prices remaining steady at around $4.86, and it cost about $5.14 in the Metro East. It's a sign of the times, the labor shortage leaving a bitter taste behind at a St. Louis favorite. Ted Drews says they don't have enough workers to open their South Grand location. Our Sarah Maki got the scoop from the owners.
The dog days of summer came early this year, but Ted Drews diehards looking for some relief from the heat.
It's like a world famous place, so we figured we'd try it out.
Have just one choice this summer, the Chippewa location.
Some of us take a lot longer to learn.
Owner Travis Dillon says they're hiring as quickly as possible, but he's noticed they're not getting as many applications. And there is a shift in the candidates' experience level, too.
My experience level is so low compared to the inexperienced staff, and so we're spending a lot of our time training and trying to get people up to speed. And we have some great people, and they're smart and sharp, and they're going to learn. It just takes us some time, but we'll get there.
It's the same issue for a lot of summer gigs that rely on young workers, like local pools struggling for lifeguards, and Six Flags in St. Louis now offering $18 an hour plus a $500 bonus.
Strawberry sundae is fine.
Some customers say they didn't realize the other location was even closed.
I've only come here, so it's good to hear that they're opening another one, or that it's opening.
But Dylan says they are getting a lot of questions about the other spot, and he is optimistic it will be open soon.
I'm going to try to get it open still this year. That's my goal, but I just don't know when. Just working on it.
Sarah Maki, 5 on your side.
Well, Jim, Ted Drews would sure hit the spot tomorrow, and I think they're going to be busy because it's going to be hot.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Ted Drews in the shade, fantastic, or the pool look good too. And we're going to need that for sure. All right, summer solstice. Well, summer arrives tomorrow morning at 4:13 a.m. Most of us sleeping, but it is going to be hot and humid, and for the rest of the week too. But I think tomorrow is going to be one of the hotter days along with Saturday. So we're going to go right back up again Saturday, but most of the week definitely in the 90s. Right now at Edwardsville looks good, and 79 degrees already at this hour. Are still at this hour, I should say. And right now down by the Arch in downtown St. Louis, it's 86 degrees. We have a south wind at about 11 miles an hour. That will get lighter tonight. Humidity still down at about 40%, but I've noticed the dew point going up. And again, when you get the dew point in the 60s to near 70, it gets muggier, and it's going to be that way for tomorrow for sure. 96 for that high today, 68 for the overnight low. Average high is 87. And of course, no rainfall, and then lows tonight, not as cool as they have been. So dropping back into the 60s, 65 at Shiloh, 66 at Sullivan, but probably right through St. Louis near 70, 71 degrees. All right, high pressure at the surface is just to the east of us, kind of pumping in Gulf of Mexico moisture, higher dew points, definitely. And that frontal system just to our north and west is causing some severe weather from just west of Minneapolis to north and west of Omaha. That'll stay away from us. The jet stream is way up to the north into Canada, and south of that jet, you'll find that orange, red, and even some of the magenta, which is extreme heat, and that high pressure causes sinking air, and things heat up quite a bit. So it's at the upper levels and at the surface. And what we have is a heat advisory for Pike County, Missouri, and all of northern Missouri and into northern Illinois. So it's hot and humid tomorrow. Out ahead of that frontal system, we'll watch for a couple storms up here, and that risk of some severe weather, marginal risk, just north and west of us. So it looks as if, again, as the moisture, we just have a lack of it and a lack of dynamics and shear to get some of that storm activity. So tomorrow it is sunny for us, highs about 99. The heat indices way up there near 103. And then there is a chance of a storm as we head into Wednesday, but about a 30% chance of that. 94 for the high. Thursday, it looks dry, 93. Friday, dry, 96. 99 Saturday, a spot storm. But, Mike, we do cool off. Sunday, 88, and Monday, 87, and maybe not as humid.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Thanks, Jim. Frank is here with sports.
Well, Mike, Pat Maroon had himself a night. The Cardinals did not, but a St. Louis kid did at the College World Series. Stay with us. So I think the Cardinals hit, run, and field better than the Brewers. Unfortunately, there's a not-so-little thing called pitching. And if the Brewers staff is healthy, they are better than the Birds. At least they were tonight. Corbin Burns is a bad man. Watch him paint the corner to get Tommy Edman. A little later, high heat, 95 miles per hour to strike out Paul Goldschmidt, a two-hitter with 10 Ks over 7 innings. But Miles Mikolas is good at pitching, too. He's allowed 8 hits in his last 3 starts. Unfortunately, this is one of them. Tyrone Taylor with a 2-run bomb in the 5th inning. 8th inning, you just got to see this. Nolan Arenado with a backhanded stab and the jump pass to get the force. Josh Hader came on in the 9th, and that means the game is over. Brewers win 2-0. Cardinals have lost 4 out of 5, and they've fallen out of first place. Hey, take a look at this guy. He's Cardinal pitching prospect Ryan Ludus. He's a WashU grad who could have had a lucrative career in computer science, but instead he's chasing his big league dreams on a minor league free agent deal. His ERA, 2.51 at Springfield so far this season. And he knows what it could mean if he does make it to Busch Stadium one day.
Being in St. Louis and being around like Busch Stadium and the Cardinals, just like what the Cardinals meant to the city and everything, I think it was very cool. And then getting a chance with the Cardinals, them being the only team that was calling after the draft to sign me, was it was pretty cool that, being a local guy too, and hopefully I can keep moving up and mean something to WashU students and SLU students and, the city there, especially being a guy who went to college right there.
The young man behind me is Kevin Graham. He could have been drafted last year, but the Westminster grad elected to stay at Ole Miss and try and win the College World Series. And he's getting closer and closer and hitting. Graham had 2 more RBI hits tonight, because that's what this kid does. Ole Miss remains undefeated with a 13-5 victory over Arkansas. Game 3, Stanley Cup Finals tonight, and our buddy Pat Maroon had a big night. Look at this nice move and the score to make it 5-2, Tampa. Pat also had an assist tonight. The Lightning would pour it on. Corey Perry makes it 6-2, and that's the final. Tampa gets on the board. They're now down 2-1 in this series. I hate to beat a dead horse, but I can't help but think about this moment May 21st. Nazem Kadri ended Jordan Binnington's playoff. Game 3, 7 minutes in, and the Avs won the game and the series. And that leads us to, frankly speaking, do you realize that Colorado has only lost 3 games this entire playoffs? They're 14-3. Well, who handed them 2 of their losses? The Blues. I know they are a great team, but what if Kadri doesn't cheap shot Jordan? Do you know in the postseason, Binner was 4-1 with a 1.75 goals against? Are you telling me that this Stanley Cup winning goalie didn't have 2 more wins in him against the Avs? We'll never know for sure, but as Blues fans will ask the question for a long time, what if Jordan Binnington never got hurt?
Frank, thanks. Proud to be an American. How Missourians and Illinois residents rank when it comes to patriotism. The annual Folds of Honor campaign, sponsored by Schnucks, is now underway. From now until July 4th, you can round up at the register. Money raised goes towards scholarships for spouses and children of fallen and wounded service members. 5 on Your Side is a proud partner of the campaign. Well, the 4th of July is just 2 weeks from today, and a new survey tonight finds Missouri and Illinois are not among the most patriotic states in America. These rankings are based on military and civic engagement. Alaska comes in at number 1. Montana, Virginia, North Dakota, and Oregon round out the top 5. Missouri ranks 25th, Illinois 32nd. Jim has a final check of the weather.
All right, Mike, so tomorrow summer arrives at 4:13 a.m. So the summer solstice, and it's a hot one, hot, humid, 99. And then we're going to do that 99 again on Saturday. In between that, we're in the low and mid 90s. Chance of storms possible Wednesday, but a lot of us won't see it. Just a 30% chance, so really 30% coverage of the area. We'll see showers and storms. Thursday and Friday look dry, and then finally by Sunday, it does look like we're going to knock the temperatures down to about 88 on Sunday, 87 on Monday, and it will be less humid again. It goes back up Tuesday to 90 and probably staying not too humid until we get to the middle of next week.
But it's going to be hot tomorrow, so be careful out there. Drink plenty of water, wear light clothing, and stay safe. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. And Jimmy's guest tonight, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Kristen Bell. And don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4:30 a.m. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.